Hi, my name's Susie, and this is my channel, Super Pink Orchid. I'm a project planner, new time YouTuber, and this is the year I'm going to record my progress in project plans virtually. This is my first update for the project plan called A to Z, and that's all about picking a product that relates to a letter of the alphabet, so obviously 26 products, and setting your own goal. It doesn't have to be finishing that item, and just updating as and when. Well, I'm going to do monthly and showing you where I've got to. I'm going to start with the 4 things I've managed to finish in the last month since posting my intro, and then I'll move on to the progress I've got on the remaining 22 letters. So, the first thing I managed to finish was the Kaleidos Cosmetics Prismatic Multichrome Eyeliner in Tourmaline. So, these eyeliners, if you've been watching my recent videos, I really love these eyeliners. They are um, very shiny. They are duochrome or multichrome. I think this is the one that was pink and green off the top of my head. Obviously, I can't really swatch it because it's done. It's as done can be, I'm afraid. But these things last. They look fantastic in the waterline. Every time I've done a swatch recently for a video, the thing hasn't managed to wash off for hours and hours and hours. I'm sad it's gone, but also happy to have completed it. And I've already brought a fresh set of Kaleidos eyeliners to replace these because I really do think the formula is great. The next thing that I feel, oh, and that was, I'm so sorry, that was T for tourmaline, which is the shade name. The next letter I managed to finish was X, and that was Pat McGrath Labs Permagel Ultra Glide Eye Pencil in Extreme Black. And they spell extreme with no E at the beginning, so it starts with an X. Um, if you watched my intro, you knew this was going to be an absolute gimme product. The thing only had a few uses left anyway, and there you can see it's empty. There's absolutely nothing in there left for me to uh, get out. Another eyeliner that I actually do recommend the formula of. It does indeed permaglide. Uh, it stays really well. It sharpens lovely. This is actually the second one of these I've ever had, and well, given that Pat McGrath Labs is now in Chapter 11 bankruptcy, who knows what will happen, but something I wouldn't mind getting my hands on again, that's for sure. The next letter I finished was Q, and this is the Sculpted by Amy Brighten Up Under Eye Liquid Concealer, and the Q is in liquid because Q is quite a difficult letter. So here she is. This was in the shade beige. Yeah, that's what it was. Shade beige. Um, I've scraped out as absolutely much as I possibly can. The stopper's out. I know you can still see bits in the on the edging of the outside, but she's done. Um, I actually really enjoyed this concealer. It just smelled a bit weird, and I don't mean it was funky and it was off. It just thought it was a bit chemically. I would have another one. I'd actually got this one from a friend who decluttered it to me, because normally I just stick with Maybelline concealer and have at it. But actually, now that I know this lovely formula, I'd consider it again. Although I don't know about that chemically smell. And then the final letter I finished was U, and it was the Uoma Beauty Say What Soft Matte Hydrating Foundation in the shade T1N. And again, you can see loads and loads and loads of windowing. I managed to get out as absolutely much as possible. I have a couple of different types of makeup spatulas, and the best thing for a glass bottle is to use one of those silicone spatulas. You can get them on, you know, lots of cheap shops, Amazon and Shein and drugstores. So I mean, this is absolutely done. Now you can't buy this anymore. It was one of my favourite foundations to use. Uh, given that I managed to finish You so early on, I decided to actually roll in my final Uoma Beauty foundation. Now, whilst this shade was T1N, this is T1C. I can use both of them, no problem whatsoever. So I'm only considering You half done because whilst the project A to Z isn't a roll it in type of project, um, let's just pretend that my goal for You was to actually finish both of the Uoma Beauty foundations. So here she is. I've been using her for about a week, so she's basically full. So we'll see how long it takes me. Right, so they were all the letters that I completed in January, noting, as I say, that You is now back in the mix. And I'll just take you through where I'm at with the others. One of the only, I think maybe even the only products I've picked with a usage goal instead of a completion goal is actually the letter A. And this is the Urban Decay Afterglow blush, so A for Afterglow in Bittersweet, and it was at the time quite a highly sought after purple. It's actually quite a pinky base to it as well, but it is purple, and the goal I'd set myself was 20 uses. Now I've surprised myself and actually used it 6 times in January. Great progress. I also don't want to blow my load too soon. It might be that if I get to 20 uses a little too early in the year for my liking, then maybe we'll reset the goal with a higher number, or I don't really think hit and pan is probably that feasible given the other blushes I'm working on are in this project and other projects. But we'll see. I do like it. I like the finish on the skin. So quite enjoyable to have in project. For the letter B, now this is an exciting one and one I fully expect to tell you in a month's time I've finished. I'm using the NYX Butter Gloss Bling, so it's the glittery version, in Bring the Bling. And there's loads of B's there, so pick your B. And the goal is to finish it. Now, this thing is already had the stopper out. It might have even had the stopper out in the intro, actually. It's I'm really struggling to get any out, but I think one more day, in a day, obviously I reapply it quite a few times. I reckon one more day's worth of usage and she will be finished. So if I'm not telling you in a month's time this is done, I will eat my hat. For the letter C, I picked the Colourpop, C for Colourpop, Super Shot Shadow in Fruit Punch. I'm not sure if you're getting the shade properly. It's actually quite a bright green, not quite as neon as this jumper, but actually not that far off. It's crumbly. It doesn't matter how many times I put Inglot's Duraline in it. It's not really working with the formula. I do try and use it. Sort of hate panning this one now. It's not very great. It's on my lids now. I did a bit of a halo eye with a dark, well, it's a black, but I smoked it out to grey. Actually, it's the black you'll see in a minute. Smoked it out to grey and then this greeny yellow on the lids. Um, but the formula's just terrible. Picking it up with a brush, not great. Picking it up on your finger, it looks fantastic on your finger, and then you transfer that to your eye, and it's not wonderful. So I'm still going to plough on with it, although I can feel myself getting frustrated with it. The goal is to finish this. For the letter D, not something I can show you fantastic progress on, but this is the Maybelline New York Sky High mascara in Space Diamond, so D for Diamond. So this is a glitter mascara. So something I'll wear over black rather than in place of colour mascara because it just deposits glitter. If you give it a light hand, you can have pretty glittery lashes. If you go a bit accidentally too heavy, it will basically make your lashes kind of white, which isn't the look I'm going for. So it does need to be used sparingly. But because I just work from home, it's not that detectable, so I can enjoy having sparkly eyelashes even though no one else knows. Use it every day, but pretty frequently. I'm not too worried about progress on that one. For the letter E, I have the Colourpop Chrome Gel Liner in Exit, so E for Exit. This is their white shade. Um, that's that is going to fall off if I'm not careful. I'll go, yeah, that's as far as I've got left. So still a ways to go. I've realised, there you go, it can go back in. I've realised that white on the eyes doesn't look as great as I thought it did. More of a flesh colour looks better, or a colour. But I will finish it because I do have another one, so I really don't need two white eyeliners. So this has to be finished this year. I need to remember it's there. I can also use it as kind of an eye base to make brighter colours pop as well. So I reckon if I remember to be creative with it, I could get quite a lot of use on it quite quickly. For the shade F, I'm using this Catrice Soft Glam Filter Stick Glow Booster. So it's kind of a hard stick. Just rolling it up to show you how much I've got left. So you could use this thing as a highlighter. I tend to use it all over my face under foundation just to try and use it up. I reckon I've probably got through quite a lot in the month since the intro. I didn't measure it though, I'm afraid, so sorry about that. Do I love this? No, I'm basically just using it to get it used up. I don't really want to declutter something um, like this when I know I can just use it every day and get it done that way and experiment with it. I have tried it over makeup as a highlighter, but it's not shiny or glittery enough for my liking personally. So, but it's all right under foundation. It'll get used. For G, I'm using the Grande Brow Fill. This is an eyebrow tinted brushy thing, volumizing brow gel. The stopper is already out and possibly was out at the intro as well. So, it's only used once a day, brush through the brows. It's fine. I reckon it's probably about there. It probably will be done by the next update, if not the update after that. I do want to make sure I've used as much as possible. But it's quite nice. Would I buy another one? Yeah, probably. I'd think about it. Benefit obviously is one of the most popular eyebrow brands, and they have something similar to this. But I wouldn't not recommend it. It was fine, and is it a shade? Oh, I got light. It's fine. H is Smashbox's 24-hour photo finish shadow primer, which is here. So this is my primer before this soft glam filter stick. So I'll put primer on, then this thing, then foundation, the Uoma Beauty. I'd actually thought this might be done, but there's still a ways to go. This is air. This is basically air. Um, but I don't want to squeeze it too hard. It's a silicone based thingy, which is good for me and my oily skin. I think we're practically there with this. So possibly another one to be finished before or by the next update. Um, this has been fine. I've enjoyed it actually. The one silicone free primer that does it all, according to them. Um, oh no, this isn't the Smashbox at all. Stupid. This is Wet n Wild Impossible Primer Base. Excuse me, I skipped two letters. This is fine, whatever. This is the H Smashbox 24-hour photo finish shadow primer I had. So this is the eyeshadow primer that I put on before um, eye makeup. Another one that is practically there. It's as flat as you like. Some of it started to come out of the seal. Typical packaging. Can't deal with actually being used. This is a fine eyeshadow primer. Would I buy it again? Well, impossible. Smashbox isn't sold in the UK anymore. Would I recommend it for people who can buy it? It's fine. It's not rocking my world, but it is keeping my eyeshadow on, so maybe it is worth the recommendation. So we've already done I because I can't read. J, a controversial brand, but I'm trying to get it all out of my stash, is the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Mini Velour Liquid Lipstick in Calabasas. I do have a lot of his miniature velour liquid lipsticks, so I'd like to focus sort of on one at a time and get them finished. This is quite a nice strong rose shade. It's quite nice on the lips. I've worn it a couple of times in the month since the update. Nothing super visible that you'll be able to see. I don't think there's any windowing at all. The only other thing to say about this formula is it needs a drop of Duraline every now and again. It is a few years old at this point, so it's still got some life left in it once it's had that Duraline. But yeah, it's going to have to be use them or lose them with regards to these. So let's try and get some use before I have to throw away some of the older ones. For K, I'm using the Catrice Under Eye Brightener in Instant Awake, so K for Awake, and this is basically a pink goo cream that I put on. Let's see, after foundation and then before concealer. Just use it on the under eyes to kind of colour correct. The update to show you here is that I have hit pan and quite a big juicy Lucy pan actually, a rather large pan. So I'm pleased with that, but there's still plenty of product to go around the edges. I'm not sure if you can see the colour, but it is pinky, beigey pink. It's quite nice actually. I don't know if I'd buy it again. This was another one decluttered to me by a friend. Um, but yeah, it's nice. It's pleasant enough to use. Nice consistency. I've noticed if I pick it up with my finger, it's quite sheer, and then if I use a concealer brush to put it on, it's much thicker. And either is fine. It blends out lovely before concealer. So yeah, quite enjoying using that. Colour correct. For L, I am using another Kaleidos Cosmetics eyeliner. This is the Prismatic Multichrome in Limelight. So here she is. Still okay, not far to go really. I use this one quite a lot. It's kind of a greeny blue colour. I like using it under my eyes. I'm not worried at all about finishing this up within a year. I don't expect it to last much longer than summer. I want to use these, so I do reach for them quite a lot. So it's some good progress. For M, I'm using the MAC lip pencil in Ruby Woo, and sadly, here is where I fall. This has been used a grand total of once since the update. Just not quite ready for a sharpen. Um, Maybe after the next go. Lip pencils in general, I just don't see the value of, quite honestly. I would love to watch a video telling me why I should be using these things. But right now, I don't feel like a lip pencil does anything for me in any shade. Um, and red, I'm very happy to wear red lipstick. I'm not afraid to wear dark or bold lipsticks. It's just usually I reach for the colourful eyeshadows and then don't remember because I don't want to wear too bold. I like to pick one or the other. So I have to remember to just do kind of quite a basic eye if I want to wear a strong lip. And it's not something I remember to do, even though this thing will be sat in my makeup kit right in front of me every morning. If I want to finish this thing, oh boy, I've got to work really hard because that is basically a full lip pencil. I think this might be my Achilles heel throughout the year. For the letter N, I'm working on another Kaleidos Cosmetics eyeliner. This is their Velvet Multichrome formula, and this is in the shade Night of Creation. And this is a lovely sort of purple to blue multichrome. I've got even less of this than the Limelight one that I just showed you. Again, I'm not worried in the slightest about getting this thing used up, but here's progress. For the letter O, I am panning the Ofra lip gloss in the shade Spicy, and the goal is to finish it as with all of them except for that purple blush. You can see a decent amount of windowing in this thing right now. I'm aware Ofra is another controversial brand, so another brand I'm trying to use all the products in my collection, by the way. As a lip gloss, it's really quite a nice, it gives a lovely shiny, yeah, quite an opaque colour, but it isn't super crazy and bold. Haven't yet pulled the stopper out. I think another few days worth of usage and then I'll be about ready to do that and get my spatula, maybe the metal one, down the bottom to dig out some of the goo. Um, as a lip gloss, it's been quite pleasant to use and it smells quite pleasant as well. Not vanilla-y, but not spicy, just nice. For the letter P, I'm using the Urban Decay Perversion Mascara, and this is a miniature mascara. I've been using it for a month or so now, so I think there's still a little bit of life left in it. It's all right. It's not. the most impressive mascara, I'll be honest. I won't be that sad when it's finished, and I certainly won't be repurchasing another one. But equally, I'm not hate panning it either. It's a nice dark black on the eye. It holds a curl right, maybe for a few hours, well, a good half a day. Um, but it's not blowing me away. So I wouldn't really recommend it. Right, for R, I've got the Revolution eyeshadow palette. The thing doesn't have a name. She's very, very damaged. This had been my 2021 Pan Nat palette. There'd been sort of creams, a greyish, and sort of a gradient of different shades of brown ending in a black. So in 2021, I'd managed to finish five, leaving a dark brown that a few years later I used in my eyebrows, and then a black, which up until last year was like practically full. I had managed to hit pan, but just in one tiny spot. And it is my goal to get this thing finished. Well, it's quite faded now because it's late, very late in the day, but I had done a halo eye with it today. It fades out, it blends out to quite a nice grey, probably because of Revolution's not great formula, but that's quite helpful when I don't want a black eye. And sometimes I'll use this in place of a black eyeliner or actually on top of a liquid eyeliner that I'm using in another project that I think is quite a crappy formula. So I'll use this to help darken that and to smoke it out slightly. So she's getting, if not daily use, then frequent use. I still think it'll take quite a few months to use up, but I'm hopeful that this is going to be the year. Please let this be the year. I'm just not ready to declutter it. I know it's not great, but I just don't see the point of decluttering something that I think I can use. I don't want to be wasteful. For S, I'm using the Sephora Shine and Wear top coat, so a clear nail varnish basically. Oh, I've gone and had it on its side, which means it's now gone all the way up the back. I think well, it's currently slowly dripping down the back, but it's about there. I've used it 3 or 4 times since the introduction. Not worried. I mean, look, there's hardly anything left in there. Actually, it's more irritating to use now because you can't get the brush down there, so you have to have it tipped up when you're using it. It's all right as a top coat. I happen to have another one in my stash that I'd like to get to. But once that one's gone, I'll probably buy a top coat from a more reputable nail brand, one that I have a bit more faith in than this thing. I've already finished T. I've half finished U, as noted. For V, I'm using the Vaseline Rosy Lips, and I keep this by my bed and then forget to use it. It already had pans, so don't be impressed. I think I've used this thing once or twice in the months since the introduction. I completely forget. I really, really, really need to remember that I'm supposed to be working on this thing, else it's not going to have much usage at all in a year. I'm not super impressed with myself. Um, W, I'm using another top coat. This is the Wet n Wild top coat, and it's actually a matte top coat. And it gives quite a nice velvety look to the nails, which I really do enjoy. And when this is done, because I don't have any other matte top coats, I will consider buying another one in the future. Again, I don't think I'd choose the Wet n Wild brand. I'd like to maybe look at a more nail specific nail specialist brand to look at their matte top coat, with the hopes that it won't chip like this one does. So do not really recommend, even though it looks lovely when it's fresh on. UVWX. X is done. So we've just got 2 letters to do. For Y, I'm using the YSL powder blush in the shade Make Me Blush. And the goal for this one is, because I'd already hit pan, is to actually finish the broken side. And by that I mean this kind of half moon of product that's around the edge here. Um, the thing with that is my lovely big blush brush isn't super targeted, so I am basically just using the big bit instead of the little bit. But whilst I did consider getting my metal spatula and like carving that out and putting it into another pan and using it as a loose blush, which will mean it will be used like immediately, because for me loose blusher just goes super quickly. I've decided, hey, I've got a year to play with this thing. Why not just use it as normal, see where I get to. If I start to panic in the third, you know, third of the year, then maybe I could start carving it out. But let's just see where we get to. It's practically my everyday blush anyway, so you never know, just with that sort of more organic use, I might be able to finish that semicircle, and if not, we'll do something about it, maybe September. And finally for Z, a bit like the MAC Eye pencil, I've picked a red lip product. This is the ZC Gilt Gold Dragon Velvet Lipstick in M01, which I think is also called Empress when I spotted it in my inventory spreadsheet. But I just have M01 written down here and that's all it says there. Um, so, given that I already said I'd only used the MAC lip pencil once since the intro, you won't be surprised to hear I'd only used this once since the intro. Now, it wasn't a brand new product at the time. I mean, you can see there has been some usage on this thing, but I need to get a lot more traction on these two red lip products, else I'm not going to finish these things. And this has been in an A to Z in previous years. So it's about time that it gets used. And the reason for that is not because I don't like the formula. Actually, I really like the formula. It smells all vanilla creamy. It goes on nicely. It stays nicely on your lips. And I absolutely love using this thing. So I want to get use out of it while it's still pretty and usable and not let it go bad in my collection. So that's it. That's my February update for A to Z. I'll see you in a month's time. Thank you for following along with me and have a great day. Bye.